about to share with y'all the only homemaking routine that has ever worked for me, and I've been a homemaker for about 5 years, and this keeps me from forgetting every single thing that I need to do. So this is called the Sidetracked Home Executive System. All you need to get started with this is a box, some sort of box. It could be recipe box, cardboard box, photo box, doesn't matter. My husband already had this. It has a locking lid. I believe this is from Walmart. So that's what I got. And then you need a couple packs of colored index cards with like the 4 or 5 colors in them. And then you also need a pack of white index cards. I prefer the kind that are ruled, with the lines on them and stuff. That way it's easier for me to write on them neatly. And then you will also need tabs that go, mine are not in order because this is not the right date, but all 31 days because the longest months have 31 days in them. So I bought these sticky Post-it tabs, and you could also buy tabs that are already numbered for you. And I wrote 1 through 31 on these. And then, so those are supposed to be the days of the month. And then the months I have back here. So you'll put all 12 months on tabs as well. And I did those all in pink tabs. I started doing these multicolored, and then I realized I kind of wanted them to look a little bit different in the back. I don't know if you can see, but they're all pink, the months of the year. And then I keep my little marker in here whenever I want to make new ones, and then keep my tabs and then some empty or blank index cards in the back. So let me show you how this works so well. Let's pretend that it is the 16th, which it's not. I am behind on my homemaking because I had to have a small procedure done, and there was also some things that my husband was dealing with. So, anyway, grace, right? Okay, so let me take my marker out. I like this one because it's clear. Okay, so for the 16th, I'm supposed, sorry, the tripod might be wiggling a little bit. You're on like a stepladder. So my first task is to eat breakfast, which sounds simple, right? But this keeps me from waking up and immediately like doing the dishes or going outside, and then next thing I know it's like 1 o'clock and I haven't eaten. So this works very well if you are really bad about ignoring your own personal needs. You can put any task you want in here. So the next I have like a couple exercises and watering my outdoor plants, that kind of thing. And then of course I have dishes and laundry, start a load of laundry for today. Something like the laundry is once it's started, it's kind of easier to keep up with throughout the day, but just getting it started early is what I struggle with. The different color cards are for these things. So the white ones, I believe I just use those to put the Post-it tabs on. And the yellow ones, of course, you saw those are daily. So like this one, it says to sweep and mop the main living area floors. And on each card, you'll put the frequency. So whether you do it daily, monthly, every other day, did I say weekly? Weekly. And then the task, you can put as many details about the task if you want. I need the task to be very small because what happens is if I put in there, if I make a card that just says clean the bathrooms, I will look at that card on a very busy day and think, oh gosh, I don't have time to clean the whole bathroom. And if I only clean the toilet, I'm going to forget that I cleaned the toilet and then have to clean it all again later. So I put on there very specifically, clean the toilets, and then I have a second card that says clean the shower, and then I have another card that says spray down the shower. That way the shower is still relatively clean, or it's maintained if I don't have time to actually sit there and scrub the whole shower down. So you best, if whatever kind of direction you follow best is how you're going to lay out your cards. And then you're going to put how long each task takes. Now, if you don't know how long they take, once you do them, time yourself and maybe give yourself like a minute or 2 leeway there, and then write it down. I put down that it takes 10 minutes to sweep kitchen, living, and dining area. I live in a double wide, so it does not take 10 minutes to sweep those areas, but I like to give myself that much time. Now, I have a decluttering card somewhere. It's a 10-minute daily declutter. It definitely does take 10 minutes, and more to go around my house and find things to declutter, just because I'm going into every single room whenever I do that. And sometimes I'm digging through stuff and it just takes a little bit longer. So I put 10 minutes on there because I'm doing it every day. And because I'm doing that every day, I don't want to get stuck, like look up at the time and it's been like 2 hours and I've been decluttering and I should have started dinner 30 minutes ago. So that's why I put the time there, because once that 10 minutes is up, you stop. You put your whatever tools you were using to work on that project, you put them up, and then you get started on your next task. And I really like that because it keeps me from spending all day doing things and just allot my time better. So anyway, we're going to move on. So then I have green. I chose green for things that are longer than a month. So 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, whatever I think. So this one says clean outside doors. The outside of our doors get kind of yucky whenever it rains and stuff like that. So I allotted 10 minutes for that task. And that only needs to be done every 3 months. Monthly, I clear off my dresser because that is like what is it called? Like a hot spot for clutter. I believe there's another term for that, but 5 minutes every month, clear the crap off my dresser, put it where it belongs. I have like hair ties strewn about and earrings and like medical stuff that just needs to be put up and dealt with. So that one is every month. And then weekly, I have on there pay bills. Now this is for like, I'll pay my monthly bills at this time, if I have them, and if I've already paid them, then I don't have to worry about that. I put those up so that they're no longer like nagging me, so to speak. And then if I get a random like medical bill or something, then I will pay that bill then. That way I'm keeping track of it week by week and time doesn't go by and I think, oh, well, I think I paid the bills and I didn't. And I'll show you what system I used before this and why it didn't really work for me. All right, so these are the basics of what it is. And then you can also, I chose not to do this, in pencil at the bottom, you can write date last done, and then write the last time you did it, and then you can write skip and tally mark how many times you skip the task. That way, whenever you go back through, oh gosh, I've already skipped this twice. It really needs to be done. This is great for, let's say today, okay, I have one that just says seasonal, because that way I know to put it only at the spring or fall, because this has to do with planting. So this one says seasonal, prepare/plant seasonal plants. I have not done that this year. I do have plants outside, but I wanted to plant some more plants, and this allows me to see, like let's say I wanted to start planting something in February. Then I can put this in February or even put it a month ahead, and then I'll see it a month ahead and be like, oh yeah, I need to buy plants or do this or whatever. Okay, let's say I don't finish this one. I don't get to this one. I just move it back to the correct month, because like I said, all the 12 months are back here. I would just, let's say I'm not going to do that this year. I would put it back in April, and then it'll be ready for me to, and then I'll see it, and then it doesn't get lost because it will come up again in April. Let me put that back, because I should do that this month if I can. And like this one says, plan weekly recipes. Okay. So I keep recipes on my phone, just like up in the search tabs and stuff like that, until I print them out so that they don't get lost forever. I do have a Pinterest, but things get lost in my Pinterest too. So let's say I've already planned what recipes I want to use this week, then I'll move that to next week. And then if this was the 16th, I would put it on the number that is a week away from that. Something that is helpful that I want to do and haven't done yet is putting a calendar at a glance and tape it to the front of the box. I really need to do that. I just haven't yet. So that way okay, a week from the 16th is such and such date. And then let's say I finished everything from the 16th, one card at a time, I would move it to the 17th, which would be tomorrow. It's not really tomorrow, but we're pretending here. I've already eaten breakfast. I'll put that into tomorrow's tab. Let's say I've already done my exercises and I've already watered outside plants. and that kind of thing. And you keep moving them back. And then once they're all back, you move the 16 all the way to the back of the numbers, and that way it'll slowly rotate to the first again. So you don't have to worry about it. And then because we're in May, I would move, once it rotates to the first, I would move it back, and then we'd be in June. All right, I hope all of that made sense. If it doesn't, leave comments. I'd be happy to chat with you about it. But it keeps me from forgetting everything because it doesn't ever get lost. It just goes back to the date that you have intentions on completing that task. So this is what I used before. I laminated it and used like a dry erase marker. This is daily, and then my daily cleaning tasks. And I have a separate household one too that's like personal care and just other things to get done that aren't particularly cleaning. It's home management is what I called it. So next I have weekly tasks, monthly tasks, and yearly tasks. For example, under weekly, I have change bed sheets. If on Sunday, when the new week starts, I change those bed sheets and then I forget that I've done it and then I change them like 2 days later, I would prefer to wait a full week before I change something like that again. Same thing with changing air filters, which I do every 2 to 3 months because of allergies. Sometimes I change them a little bit earlier. If I do that, I can't always remember if I did it like at the beginning of the month or the end of one month. And that's a huge difference in time. So whenever it's like this, if I do have one in here for changing air filters. If I changed the air filter on the 1st of April, I would move it to 2 or 3 months later on the 1st. And then I would remember because I'd see the card, oh, it's time to change it on the 1st instead of waiting basically a whole nother month because you waited to the end of the month when at first you did it at the 1st of the month. I don't know if other people really care about that, but it makes more sense to me to do it this way. And also I talked about like just maintaining things. I want to keep my shower maintained, but I do not always have the energy or time to really like sit there and scrub down the shower till it's sparkly clean. So every few days I will spray down the shower to disinfect it, kind of like eat up the soap scum, that kind of thing. And that keeps me maintaining it. Otherwise, I would think, oh gosh, I don't have time to do this large task and let me just let it go. And then I wouldn't do anything about it. So this being more detailed and sure to come back at you with whenever, a week from now, if I haven't done it, that card's going to be there because I put it off. I put it there. I said, oh, I'm going to have to skip that this time. And I put it there and I'm like, oh, okay, I really need to do that. It's also great for tasks that we just don't always remember to do. Cleaning out the dishwasher filter. I do that once a month. And because it's on a card, I don't forget about it. And that's something that's easy, only takes like a few minutes and then it's done. I have it for really small things that like to open up the curtains every morning. That way to let light in, and it just makes me happier. It's a mood booster. So like, why not do it? It's honestly too hot for me to do it right now, but I wish I could. But that card is on there as a daily task because it's not really a chore, but whenever it's done, it makes a huge difference and I don't want to forget about it. Oh, I also have, if you're familiar with my channel, I shop at Azure Standard for bulk groceries, that kind of thing. I have one for every 3 months. It says check bulk food storage, start Azure Standard order. I still need to do that. Some months the drop date doesn't fall where I can make it to the drop to pick up groceries and stuff like that. So some months I don't do it anyways, but honestly, whenever I do buy from them, I stock up enough to where I don't have to do it every month anyways. Also, I thought, oh wow, this is going to be a lot of startup to write all of these index cards out for every single task. And then I thought, I can't even think of every single task. That's why with a printout checklist, it was kind of annoying because I would think, okay, I think I have everything that I need to keep track of typed out on this. I'll go ahead and print it. And then I would think, oh no, I left something off of it. And then, now it's not on my checklist, all pretty and cute and stuff like that. So this, I don't have to worry about that. These are all individual tasks. They're all separate from each other on different cards. So all I have to do is worry about adding some. And if there's a task I don't want anymore, like let's say I want to change my hobby. That's one I didn't go over, I'm sorry. So this is a hobby. The pink ones are supposed to be like personal care, hobbies, things you do for you to make yourself happy, whatever. So it says hobby up here, and it says 2 hours. I'm supposed to sew for 2 hours. Well, let's say that you're a person who, let's say this said getting your nails done or something. Let's say you don't get your nails done anymore. Let's say you prefer to dye your hair instead. I don't know. Don't worry about it. Just take that card out. And then you don't have to worry. You don't have to like write a new checklist. You don't have to type out anything fresh or new and print it off and make it permanent. You can just toss that card and write a new one that says get your hair done to remind you to get your hair done. My husband was joking with me, and he said that I should probably have one that says get my hair cut, because I'll like complain about, oh gosh, my hair is getting knotted or whatever, and then won't make a hair appointment for like 2 months later. So, guilty as charged. You can write as many index cards as you want and add them wherever you want. The weekly tasks, you just plop them in every week, every other day. I don't think I have any that say every other day, and you can do as many colors if you want. I didn't choose to do every other day tasks. I didn't want all these yellow daily tasks to be combined with every other day. I thought that would be confusing because you're going to have the most daily tasks, of course, and then fewer of the other color cards. So choose whatever color you like the best, I guess, for your daily tasks, because that's what you'll be using the most of. All right, y'all, that is the homemaking system that works best for me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit out of my usual style of content. I do homemaking videos, but none on systems and not usually just talking videos. So I hope this was really helpful for you, and I encourage you to try it. If you're interested in the book, I believe it's on Amazon and stuff like that. It's not very expensive, I don't think. I encourage you to try this homemaking system and see if it works well for you, especially if you're kind of like me and never had something that works well for you. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.